What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video. So we had the most recent David Leitch film, The Fall Guy, come out in theaters. I did a review on that, so if you're interested on my thoughts, go check out that review on the channel. But in this video specifically, we are going to be ranking all of David Leitch's films. So he did a total of 6 films, including The Fall Guy. So we're going to be ranking all of them, going from the bottom to the top. Now, I will say before getting into this list that I enjoy all his movies. I think he, so far as a director, has had a good track record with me as far as movies that he's done, to where I pretty much enjoy all of them. So just because a movie is at the bottom of the list does not mean it's a bad movie or anything like that. It's just for ranking purposes. Whatever's at the bottom doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad movie. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this ranking. So coming in at the bottom for me right now is going to be Atomic Blonde. Now this was actually a more recent first time watch. I watched it right a couple days right before The Fall Guy, just in preparation for this ranking. And I gotta say, I really did like this film. I really did like what David Leitch was able to do with this movie. And one of the things I was hearing mostly about this movie was that it was being compared to John Wick, or, you know, a lot of people were saying this was like the female version of John Wick. So I've heard about that for past number of years, and so after watching it for the first time, I really did enjoy what David Leitch did with this movie. And I think it has a lot of great action. Probably not as solid as some of the other action shots that we get in some other movies that he's done before, but I still think it's pretty solid action going on in here. Charlize Theron plays the main character, and she is a badass in this film, so I really did like that. And this one definitely leans into the more spy, thriller, espionage type of movie. You get double agents, double crosses, different things like that. And, you know, like I said, some pretty good action scenes still. So, honestly, I really did like this movie and really did enjoy it. It was actually a pretty good movie. Moving on to the next one on the list, and that is going to be The Fall Guy, the most recent David Leitch film that we got. And with this one, just a little brief recap on this one. Y'all can check out my full review if you want to hear my full thoughts on the whole movie. But with this one, I'm going to say my major problem with this one, like I said in the review, is going to be just pacing issues a little bit in the first half of the movie. It kind of dragged a little bit in the first half, or, you know, we'll get like a cool scene at one part, and then it'll go back to dragging, get another scene, go back to dragging. That's kind of my major problem with this movie. Other than that, I really did enjoy this movie. I had fun with this movie, especially when it came to like the second half and going into the third act, to where it really ramps up for me, and it had a lot of great action going on in the second half. And, you know, this is definitely a love letter to like the stunt community and the industry of filmmaking, and just to the people who are behind the camera, the people behind the scenes, really kind of your unsung heroes that don't get celebrated as much as people in front of the camera. So I really did enjoy it for that aspect and what David Leitch was trying to kind of get across as the message for this film. But like I said, Ryan Gosling is great in this movie. He has great chemistry when it comes to him and Emily Blunt. You know, you kind of get the romance comedy going on. You got some action going on. You got a little bit of funny comedy stuff here going on too. We got a kind of a couple laughs at me here and there. So with this movie, I did actually enjoy it, but just like I said, my major problem with it was just slight pacing issues in the first half. And getting to the next one on the list is going to be Bullet Train. Now, I've been hearing a lot about this movie to where people actually don't like this movie, and I'm kind of questioning why. Honestly, when it comes to Bullet Train, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I watched it again recently for this ranking, and I still enjoy this movie. It was probably one of my favorite movies of 2022 when it came out, and I just like the way this movie is. You know, the story going on, you know, different perspectives of different characters and different stories going on, so you got kind of bounce around on different things, and it's just fun overall. You know, you got this I like the whole one setting, you know, the setting of the whole Japanese bullet train, to where it's just taking place, the majority of the movie taking place on this one bullet train, and you just get these cast of characters that are fun to watch on screen. And, you know, I really enjoyed like Lemon and Tangerine were probably one of the funniest and more fun parts of the movie, to where honestly I really like the characters, and honestly I would watch a spin-off movie with just them two, whether it be like a prequel or something like that. They were just fun characters in the movie, but the other characters were also great additions, and they were fun also to see. Brad Pitt is a likable character in this movie. You get to see some different crazy perspective and stories in this movie. There's even a story about this perspective of a water bottle, which was kind of funny in there, and also to just get a lot of great action in this movie. You know, so it's a very fun movie. I really enjoy this movie. Honestly, it's one of my favorites when it comes to David Leitch movies. So I really did enjoy this one. And you get surprise cameos from Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum. What's not fun about that, you know? So I don't understand why people really hate on this movie so much. I'm kind of questioning it, but for me Personally, I love this movie. I enjoy it, and it's one of my favorites. And next up is going to be Hobbs and Shaw. This is a spin-off of the Fast and the Furious saga. And this one is definitely interesting because it feels stylistically different from the other Fast and Furious movies that we got. The way that David Leitch shoots action and shoots this movie is very interesting because it feels like a different sort of style from the rest of the Fast and the Furious movies that we got in. And I just like the way he shot the action in here. You get a couple of slow motion shots. You get a couple of good action scenes, and the way that the perspective is on these action shots to where it's like a style that's within its own. The way he films it, it's very interesting the way he films it, and it's very interesting on how he does everything in this movie. Also too, you get the great chemistry and banter between Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson. They are fun to watch in this movie. You get some crazy cameos in this movie also, like Ryan Reynolds, Kevin Hart, different people like that. You get Idris Elba as the villain in this movie, and he is a pretty great villain in this movie. You know, he's great on screen. He's great antagonist towards these characters. Vanessa Kirby is a great addition in this movie also, and she's able to hold her own against like Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson. But honestly, I might be interested in seeing what David Leitch can actually do with an actual Fast and Furious movie, like set within the Fast and Furious saga. Like if he was to do a Fast and Furious movie with this kind of style, and it'll be kind of interesting to see what he could be able to do with that. That'll be interesting to me at least. But yeah, overall, this is one movie that I do like. I have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy it, so it's definitely an enjoyable David Leitch movie. And getting into the number 2 spot, and this is one that he's actually technically uncredited for, but technically on the other side, he actually did co-direct this with another person, but he just happened to get uncredited, and there's a whole debacle on why he was uncredited and all that, but he did co-direct it, so technically he did have a hand in directing this movie. So that is going to be John Wick. I really love the John Wick series, and this first movie that he co-directed is honestly a great introduction to the character of John Wick, but a great introduction to this whole underworld, this whole crime underworld of John Wick, and the way that set up this character and the way you set up this world is very interesting. And the action is great in this movie. Got a lot of great action. Keanu Reeves just brings it in this movie, and it just is high octane action. It's so enjoyable to see all the action shots and everything on screen. The way the story is, it kind of, like, if you think about it, it kind of seems like a crazy story. This guy gets revenge on people who stole his car and who shot his dog, and it's like, you think about it, it's like kind of a crazy story, but the way they're able to execute this story in this movie is so well done. The way they're able to shoot this movie and tell this story, shoot the action shots, it's a lot of great action, a lot of great hand-to-hand combat, a lot of different things going on in this movie, and just introducing us to this whole crime underworld is very interesting. So it's definitely unfortunate that they didn't give him credit for co-directing this movie, but of course I had to include it because he is a co-director of this movie, so definitely had to include it onto this list, and it is definitely one of his better movies, and I really enjoy this movie. It's definitely one of my favorites. But getting into the number 1 spot, and probably my utmost favorite David Leitch film, is going to be Deadpool 2. Now I know a lot of people are somewhat against this movie. This is definitely a movie that has mixed feelings when it comes to people. A lot of people enjoy it, and a lot of people kind of go against it a little bit. I'm one of those people that enjoys it so much. I love the character of Deadpool, and I love what David Leitch was able to do with this movie, to where the way he shoots action shots in here, the way he has these characters played along with each other, and just the way this movie is. Like, I will say though, it's probably not as strong as the first one, but it's still a pretty strong movie for me, and it's definitely one of my favorites from David Leitch, probably my most favorite from David Leitch. And I just like the way he shoots this movie. The action is great in here. You got a lot of great comedy going in here. The story is pretty strong in here, and just the way you're able to get watch these characters on screen with Deadpool interacting with these different characters. It's just a fun movie to watch. This one is probably my most rewatched movie when it comes to David Leitch's films, and I just enjoy this movie so much. I enjoy it so much, and I'm looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine when it comes out during the summer, so I can't wait for that. But when it comes to Deadpool 2, I enjoy it so much. One of my favorites. I probably rewatch it the most out of all of David Leitch's films, so I really enjoy this movie so much. But yeah, that is going to do it for the ranking of all of David Leitch's films. Like I said before, I think he is a director that I like. I think he has a great track record when it comes to movies I actually enjoy, to where I actually enjoy pretty much all his movies. And so far, he's on a pretty good track record with me, to where he's having good movies, he's having good great and solid movies and movies that I enjoy watching. He knows how to shoot action and just has a great filmography going on. And hopefully he's able to continue with this track record. Whenever it comes to David Leitch, I'm definitely watching his next film whenever he comes out with it. So hopefully he continues on this path to greatness and be able to still put out movies that I could be able to enjoy and have fun with, and just be able to, have them look good on screen with the action and everything going on in those movies. So looking forward to his next movie and seeing what he does in the future. But that is going to do it all for this video. Let me know down in the comments below, how would you rank David Leitch's films? But hopefully y'all all enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and I'll see you on the next one.